Hey everyone, Guillaume from Graphem Solution. So today what I want to show you is kind of a cool trick, and I think it's underused by a lot of people, is how to use FAQ on your website to boost your traffic. So you could have chance to boost a lot more traffic. Because when you go on Google and you type in a question, so it's at Google, how to buy an, I don't know, electric bike. You might get some answers like this you see here, like people also ask. So these are kind of feature snippet by Google. So Google really likes your answer on your website, so it's going to feature it as a snippet. So if you have really good answer and really good data about a specific question, you might show up there and get a kind of a edge over your competitor. So that's what I want to cover today, essentially. So in my example, I'm just using Bolt Writer. It's kind of a quick site I built as an example, but first of all, you need to find your niche. So in my case, my niche is going to be all kind of the electrical kind of bike, scooter, etc. But if you have a business, you have a niche, you have an expertise, and you know what usually your customer are asking. So that's what you want to base on is use questions from your customers. So that's the first step. Really find your niche, determine your FAQ, and you can do a little bit of research. Like I just did, how to buy an electric bike, see what kind of answer we have here at the top. If you see mostly like answer from Quora or like Reddit or, more kind of generalist website, you might have find an opportunity to shine here because it's possible Google tends even, this is not verified information I give you, but it seems like Google tends to love kind of more expertise websites that answer good question with lots of data as opposed to Quora. So you might show up at the top and also be used as a feature snippet. An example of a feature snippet is that we add at Graphem. So how to find four pages on your website. And if you look at it, we will come up first here. And usually we are used as a feature snippet essentially. So what I want to do here is I show you how to create the FAQ, and then we'll show you how to actually tell Google about your FAQ in the proper way. So first of all, so I'm going to use this website. So I'm going to go, it's a WordPress website. So I'm going to go in the back end. I'm going to go to a page, and I think I'm just going to create, I already created a FAQ page, but you know what? I'm going to start it from scratch. So I'm going to create a dedicated page. You could actually create a full article about one question and go really in depth, or you can use a FAQ page that answers multiple questions in some detail. So in this case, I'm just going to cover the fact that we're creating an FAQ page. So I'm going to go in, create my page in the WordPress editor, FAQ, and this is where I need to start putting in my question. So in terms of generating your question, your answer, I think this is the part that'll take the longest. So I suggest you do a good research. And in my case, I like to use also ChatGPT, and I'm going to show you in a second what you can do here. So I've created a prompt for ChatGPT. So if you have ChatGPT, I highly recommend you get the plus version. It's really in depth, really well constructed, meaning that it's the answers give you a way more kind of relevant. So my prompt is like this. I'm going to show it to you. Okay, so essentially what I'm saying is that you are an expert in, and here I'll say electric bike. So you want to put your expertise. Come up with answer the following question to build an FAQ page. So if you have question, you list your question there, and it can actually build up the answer for you. But in my case, what I'm going to do is instead of doing this, I'm just going to modify my prompt a little bit to generate the whole thing. All right, so I tuned my prompt a little bit here. So I'm just going to make a correction here. So you're an expert in electric bike. Please come up with FAQs about electric bikes. I would say 10 FAQ. And then it should be question and answer. Remember, you need to be as accurate as possible. So I'm just going to click this, and it's going to generate those. All right, so we got our question. What is electric bike? These are very generic questions, so they might not work really well because probably a lot of people already answer these questions. But in your case, what I recommend is more kind of specific question about your expertise in your domain. But this is for just an example to show you how we're going to build that and send the information to Google. So I'm going to grab everything here. I'm going to copy it, and I'm going to go to my page, and I'm going to paste it like this. And what I want to do is I want to make sure this is well laid out on my page in WordPress. So I'm just going to make sure this is essentially a heading. This little problem here. So we're just going to reselect that and make it a paragraph. Oops, my bad here. Like this. So let's say we have an H2 and then a paragraph, H2 paragraph, if you see the logic here. All right, so I made this an H2 and then a title, H2 title, H2 title. And when we looked at it, let me check here, FAQ, and this is how it show up. You know, the design could be changed a little bit to be a bit better, but it's not too bad, so people can actually read. You can even remove the Q, I would say, so that's not a bad idea. But essentially, this will create kind of your page for your FAQ. Now, the next thing you want to do that is really important, that's the secret weapon. You want to create a schema, structured data for Google. And what this is, so if you look at schema.org, it'll explain a little bit what it is. It's a way to structure data to tell Google what exactly your content is in a very standard structure. So this way, Google can remove the guesswork here in a sense that, you know, it doesn't have to determine what is the question, what is the answer. You're going to give it to Google. You're going to say like what it is. Now, there's multiple ways you can go and create a schema. It's a piece of code. And in my first example, what I'm going to do is I'm going to use ChatGPT. So that's very easy to do that this way. But I'm going to show you other methods in WordPress that are very easy to do. So back in ChatGPT where I generate my answer, what I can say is, can you generate the schema for FAQ page? So that's very important, FAQ page in JSON LD format. So that's the format we want. And then what I'm going to do is, 1 second here. Also, I want to say to Google, essentially, please include all the code I will need to insert in my HTML page. So let's go for it. All right, so the code is now generated. So as you can see, this is kind of a JSON format type of code. So what you can do is click copy code, and then you go back to WordPress. And what we're going to do, we're going to click the plus, and we're going to add an HTML code, custom HTML. And we can add it at the end or the beginning, doesn't matter. So I'm going to put it here, and then we're going to put this down, and we're going to click preview. Okay, so when you click preview, essentially you won't see anything because it's just kind of a JSON format. Okay, so we're going to click publish or update. And why I want to do this, it's because I do want to see the validation of it. So we'll go to the page, FAQ, and then we're going to use schema.org. So schema.org, we're going to click validate. And we're going to enter your URL. We're going to run a test. We want to see if the FAQ works. So we have a bunch of other schema already in place by SEO plugin I'm using, but we do have the FAQ and it says 0 error, so we can check at it. So we can see, so that's the format. So that's the question, that's the answer. So you see how the format is very standard. So it's very easy for Google to understand. So you have a lot more chance to be picked up for feature snippet, essentially. All right, so the next thing I want to show you is different method as well. So you can use ChatGPT to do that. You can obviously do it manually, which would be a bit annoying because if you look at the code, not super fun to do. So another thing you can do is if you're using a layout builder, and especially just the WordPress normal builder. So I'm just going to delete this here. There's a block if you use the plugin. So it's a really nice SEO plugin called Rank Matte SEO. And if you have that plugin installed, so I'm just going to show you Rank Matte SEO very quickly. So that's the Rank Matte SEO, and it's a free plugin. They also have a pro version that you have to pay, but it's still pretty cheap. It's going to come with a FAQ block. So you see FAQ by Rank Matte. So if you use this block, which is very interesting, you just type in your question, type in your answer, and then you can add another question, another answer. And essentially what this is going to do is it's going to generate that JSON LD format schema automatically, so you don't have to do it. So that's really, really simplify your life. If you have all your question answer already, you don't need to go through ChatGPT, insert a custom HTML. So that's one way to do it. And when you update and publish, essentially, I think it's created an H2 and a, we'll see very quickly, but it depends, you see. So it's a bit like this. So if you want to do a bit of styling, you can all use like classes, because I think they put specific classes if you're a developer and you know what you're doing. I think they have like a specific class. So I cannot use my inspector right now for some reason, but it doesn't matter. So now another way to do this, I'm going to go back and create a new page. I'm going to call it FAQ Elementor. If you are using Elementor as a layout builder, so you can use this edit in Elementor, there's a couple cool things that comes with the RankMath SEO plugin. So let's check it out. So in RankMath, in Elementor, if you want to make your FAQ really nice, so let's say I'm going to put the heading here. I'm going to call it like FAQ. And then what I want to do in my blocks is I want to do an accordion. So that's going to look really cool, like this. So I have my accordion. I can put my question right there. So first question, so that's just an example. We can take some of the question we already use here. Let's see here, this one. Right there, and then like this. And then we're going to use this. Right, like this. And then we can just duplicate it. We can add another question. Let's just do one more for testing. All right, like this, and then this one, the answer. Here we go. So as you can see, the style is a lot better with Elementor. Just the default accordion is really nice. And then what you can do if you have the RankMath install, again, you need RankMath install. They add this little thing for Elementor FAQ schema. If you do this, it's going to add the schema automatically. Magic. So it's really, really good. So I highly recommend it. You can also use the pro version that's going to show you in a second. Essentially, we can just validate it again. So let's go back to our validator. All right, we're going to put our URL. That's our new FAQ. So we should be able to see the FAQ. Here we go. So we have the FAQ. So in this case, it puts one thing that I don't like but it does put some of the HTML in there. So I think there's a way to eliminate that, probably in removing the paragraph itself. It's a bit more technical. So we're not going to do this now. But one more thing I want to show you is that if you are using, I'm going to go to plugins. If you are using RankMath Pro, which is not that expensive, I highly recommend it if you have a bunch of clients as well. Like us at Graphem, we do use this for our clients. I'm just going to reload this page, and I'm going to edit an Elementor. And there's one extra option. It's kind of subtlety. All right, so it says add RankMath markup. So it's going to add the markup, but the difference with this one is that it's going to include it in the web page. So we're going to check it out. All right. Then view page. We're going to revalidate it again. New test. All right. So the difference here is that we don't have the FAQ anymore. And the FAQ is actually embedded in the article. So it can actually make more sense for Google. So you see here, this is an article, this is a page. And then as you scroll down, you will have the FAQ. Let me find it right there. So FAQ page. And then we have the question, the answer. So it's just embedded in the other schema. So that is more organized, essentially with the pro version. So I highly recommend you get RankMath just for that. It's really good. So as you can see in summary, there's multiple ways to generate your FAQ schema. So that's really important. Get your schema. Get really good FAQ as well. Make sure that, don't be too spammy. You want to make sure you have really good answer that people will find useful. You don't want to include links for promotion or anything like that in your FAQ. Make them very legit. So then you might be picked up in Google. So the one last thing you want to do whenever you're done with this is you want to submit your URL to Google. So to speed up, that they picked up the new schema. So one thing I recommend you do is, I'm just going to grab my URL. You go in Google Search Console. So here am I in Google Search Console for this website. So what you can do is put in your URL right there, so that you just made your FAQ page, or maybe you added more FAQ page. And what you want to do is click Request Indexing. So this will actually trigger Google to potentially index you faster or pick it up faster. And once you picked up, you'll see, I'm just showing you something else different here. In the enhancement section, FAQ. So that means if you see this, it means Google has picked up that you have some FAQ on your page. So it has detected it from the schema that you've submitted. So, all right. So I hope this was helpful. Let me know if you have any question, if you need help implementing this on your website. Don't hesitate to contact us. I hope this was really helpful to you, and leave a comment. Thanks.